The most critical thing is to stand in your students' shoes. It's a cliche, but cliches exist because they're truisms. And it's easy for us to be thinking about what we're trying to give to students or the knowledge that we're trying to give to them. But I think that we need to stop and go, well, in order for them to acquire that knowledge, in order for them to build that knowledge, what do we need to do to facilitate that process? And that to me is what engagement's about. Because it's not just they need to read this reading. That's behavioural engagement. They need to read this reading. They need to be interested in this reading. So part of our job is declaring the relevance of it, making them understand why they're doing this thing. And then they need to be processing this reading, this information, the cognitive engagement. So part of our job there is to give them opportunities to discuss it, to action it, whether it's to work out on a maths problem or look at a case study in accountancy or whatever. But that's the processing. So I think we need to always be thinking about what are our students doing and how do we make them do it or encourage them to do it. How are they feeling about what they're doing and what can we do to make it a positive, interesting, relevant experience for them, or at least fun. Not everything's excitingly interesting, but you can still do it in ways that's engaging. And that they understand why they're doing it, because that has a big part of that. And then third, what can we do to help them actually think about it so that it becomes their knowledge and not just facts on a page or just a rote equation or whatever. So yeah, I think of everything we do, if we were to think about it in that way, our teaching would be that much better and our students would learn better because they would be interested, they would be doing, and they would be processing, and that's what we want. That's it in a nutshell. I don't think it's always possible to get all of those things, to be clear. I mean, there are students who, I teach a compulsory course, so the students come in with a little bit, not all of them, but a few of them come in with a little bit of a, I didn't even want to be here kind of mindset. So if you're in that situation, you have to work a little bit harder to get them to see the relevance and to get them to understand why the university made them do this course. So the context in which you're teaching, like what your course is, has a lot to do with how you trigger engagement and how you get them interested. Like if you're in a first year course, then your talk needs to be all about you're setting a foundation. You're setting you up for what you're going to learn later on. So you might not see why it's relevant now, but it's important for when you get here. If you're teaching a skills-based course, then you can talk, when you're out in the workforce, if you're doing paramedics or something like that, this is why you need to do this. So we need to be always thinking about what's the thing that we're trying to teach right now, or the students are learning right now. What's the relevance of that? Why is it in that curriculum? And communicating that with our students, because that will help them do what they need to be doing.